And viewers, the Prime Minister in France was all praises for Harish Salve for organizing the Bharat Innovates Conclave 2026. In fact, a senior executive editor for News, Abhishek Kapoor, also had a quick conversation with Harish Salve. Listen in.
Mr. Salve, thanks for joining us. And when we were all hearing Prime Minister Modi speak at the Bharat Innovates Summit in Nice, France, there was a surprise mention of your name. Prime Minister thanked you for helping the government of India arrange the event. That was a surprise mention. Sir, I mean, what's the connect?
Well, it was very gracious and overly generous of the Prime Minister to say what he did, and but that's how he is. So I work very closely with IIT Delhi. I'm Chairman Board of Governors IIT Delhi and Chairman now Board of Governors of IIT Roorkee. And I have seen the amazing work that is being done. And I have also professionally come across certain innovators who have done well, but then they get stuck for money. They are wanting for funds. International people don't want to talk to them because they are unknown people. They all want to go to the established business houses of India. So I was wanting to do a function for IIT Delhi in France. In summer, I have a small home there. And the Prime Minister said, why IIT Delhi? Why not IIT? And then I got this idea, and this is immediately after which Trump happened to the world. So Europe became a very different place, and India's relationship, India's stature changed. And you have to see the warmth and the affection with which our Prime Minister was received. You have to see Macron came, especially today. Mind you, France has its own Viva Tech starting in Paris, but President Macron came for our startup today.
Yeah.
So it's amazing the way we have come. And I felt, a friend of mine told me in India that the future of India lies in its startups. We have, as we speak, 200,000 startups and counting. About 17 to 18,000, maybe more, are deep tech.
Yeah.
So I suggested that if we pick up 100 of these, the finest in AI, quantum computing, space, diagnostics, digital diagnostics, etc., and show the world what India has to offer on an international stage, it will make a difference because the world will see what's going on, and it will make such a difference to our innovators who will have the confidence of sharing stage with international people, Europeans and others who've flown in. So that was the idea, and it appealed to the Prime Minister, and of course, the Department of Education took charge, and a committee was set up by the Prime Minister of his two principal secretaries and others, and I only gave some ideas, some logistic support, and I have a little connection. My wife is French-speaking, so she gave help from France, liaising with the local city people to arrange the event. But
right, sir.
The Prime Minister very graciously paid those compliments, and
I think it was definitely, sorry sir, it was definitely big that Prime Minister mentioned, but I think you are sort of yourself being gracious in perhaps making it look small or sound that easy, because it seems that you multitasked and you coordinated with so many departments, not just within India, but in the government of France also to make it happen. And it's a fantastic first of its kind event that's happening outside of India.
Let me tell you, you have to see the way world sees India today. You have to see the way world sees India today. On a lighter note, let me tell you, yesterday evening, I went, when the Prime Minister arrived, I went to call on him to say welcome to France. And I wore a kurta pajama. And I entered the famous five-star Negresco Hotel in Nice. I have never got so many salutes from the staff as I got yesterday evening when they saw me in a kurta pajama. I mean, the police partied, and everybody welcomed you. That is what Prime Minister of India has made India in the world. And you have to see the way, today when I came back for lunch to the Negresco Hotel, and my wife, my son and I, we were entering, and there was a police barricade. And the French policeman, hardcore French. He looked at my wife. She spoke in French, and he said, of course, he was opening the barricade. He looks at me and says, "Namaste, aap kaise hai?"
Right.
That's how, I'm so
I think
proud as an Indian to see what stature India has reached and the kind of things which are on display today.
yeah.
I've just come back from the venue. Oh, it's amazing. We
So
did ourselves proud.
I want to take a couple of more questions if you have time. One is that
Sorry, I think I've lost your audio.
am I audible, sir?
Can you just say that again?
Yeah, I mean, I want to take a couple of more questions if you have time. You
course.
mentioned about President Macron flying down to Nice and being there despite the fact that in a couple of days the G7 summit kicks in. That, in fact, speaks volumes of the kind of importance the French have also attached to this event, and you must be privy to some of those conversations. If you can share how you went about it, how you engaged with the French.
Let me tell you, the President Macron came to India for the AI summit, if you remember.
Yes.
And that's when our Prime Minister announced this Bharat Innovates 2026. And President Macron said, I will be there too. And it has then been organized as a state visit. So our Prime Minister was considered this so important that he actually came yesterday evening to Nice. He opened the function today. He had a lunch hosted by the president, for which he went. From there, he's now traveling to 2 other European countries and coming back for the G7. So 5 days he's going to be. He came 3 days in advance, normally with his schedule. That's what. So when he gives it so much importance, naturally, President Macron, whom he describes as a very special friend, even personally, he says he's my special friend. You can see the warmth between the two leaders. You saw the way they meet each other.
Yeah.
There is a genuine warmth between the two leaders.
Yeah. And sir, you would have spoken to the Prime Minister earlier also as a build-up to the summit during the arrangements, during the making of the summit, so to say. What was the idea that the Prime Minister gave you when he said that this has to happen, this has to be done?
So, Prime Minister's way of working is like a CEO. You give him a concept note, he agrees. The execution is left to a very, very competent team in the government of India. A cross-disciplinary team was created for designing the event, designing the logo. I mean, it was amazing that the kind of movie they made, a short clip movie, because people had to reach there 2 hours in advance because of the security arrangements. Not a dull moment. There was something or the other always on the screen. You have to see the way the venue has been designed. We got the Institute of Design from Ahmedabad to come and do the designing. It's all very, very high class, very high class. I must tell you, this is the second I've had the occasion to watch 2 of these events.
Yeah.
India at the Biennale, Venice Biennale. Venice Biennale is possibly one of the most important art fairs.
Yes.
This year, because of the personal attention the Prime Minister has and his love for art and the new Secretary of Art and the Minister and everybody who took so much personal interest. It is unfortunate 3 days before the Biennale, the jury resigned. Otherwise, most people say India would have won the first. Indian pavilion would have won the first prize. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And now what you see here is an amazing presentation. The Europe has suddenly realized this India has gone way beyond us.
Yeah. Sir, the fact that Prime Minister Modi praised you so publicly is a clear proof that he was satisfied with the way the event has shaped up. What should be our takeaways in terms of a boost to India's innovation ecosystem, India's startup ecosystem?
See, this is the startup of our startups. This is the first such event. This is, we have signed, the IITs have signed MOUs. I know of some very important MOUs which have been signed by the businesses today. I was privileged to be one innovator from IIT has signed a very important interview with a very important French company in the defense space. So, these kind of things are happening, which you don't hear in the mainstream media about. And we will now gives us a platform to try and tell the world, look, invest in India. We create a fund for startup specific funds. You get over this old fear of saying, oh, it's very difficult to do business in India. It's not. You ask all these startups, they say the government is totally behind us. It gives us all the support. It's a very different India, which we are now telling the world, come here, participate, join us. And that's what Prime Minister said. And believe me, all this is going to be a reality.
Right. Mr. Salve, a fly on the wall once told me that back in 2014, the Prime Minister perhaps wanted you to have some role in the government. And maybe it was a good miss because now you could do so much from the Kulbhushan Jadhav case to this present summit in Nice, France. And of course, it takes a Mr. Salve to be a King's Counsel in the United Kingdom and then still to be treated so well by the French. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast and sharing your experience of the...
I may be living in London. I may not be in a job in the government, but dil to hai Hindustani.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining.